All right, so today we're diving into something pretty cool for all you data enthusiasts out there.
Mm.
LinkedIn Learning.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically,
Yeah.
this data whisperer path they've got.
It's really something. It's
Yeah.
like they've taken all these courses and bundled them together into this like guided roadmap,
Hmm.
through a specific field.
So it's not just like a random collection of data courses?
No, it's like a curriculum.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through this curriculum. Where does this path actually begin?
So it starts with SQL.
Okay.
You know the language of databases. Imagine you're trying to find specific customer trends in a spreadsheet with like millions of rows.
Right.
SQL helps you do that.
Okay, so SQL is like the foundation. You got to be able to wrangle that data.
You got it.
What's next?
All right, so then it's all about making that data visually sing with Tableau.
Right.
Think eye-catching charts,
Mm-hmm.
dashboards, the works, making complex data understandable at a glance.
So first you learn to extract the information. Then you learn to present it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Powerful combination,
Yeah.
but it doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Data Whisperer also dives into Python for data science.
Hold on. Python, isn't that mainly for software developers?
So Python is actually incredibly versatile.
Okay.
It's becoming the go-to language for data analysis and manipulation, especially when dealing with large data sets.
Oh, I see. So it's like having this multi-purpose tool in your data arsenal. What kind of things would you do with Python in this context?
So everything from cleaning and preparing data to building predictive models, even automating those like repetitive data tasks.
Okay, that makes sense. So you've got SQL for pulling the data, Tableau for visualizing it,
Mhm.
Python for really digging in and getting things done. What else does this Data Whisperer path cover?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The path also delves into machine learning and AI,
Okay.
some of
Yeah.
the hottest skills in the market right now.
AI and machine learning are like, those are the big buzzwords. How do they fit into the world of a data whisperer, though?
Think about it this way. AI and machine learning allow you to go beyond just analyzing what's happened in the past. You can start predicting future trends, automating complex tasks, even personalizing experiences for users based on their data.
So instead of just crunching numbers, I could actually use data to anticipate what's coming next and make smarter decisions.
Yeah,
That's powerful.
it is. And LinkedIn Learning breaks these like complex concepts down into digestible pieces.
Okay.
So you don't need a PhD in mathematics to get started.
That's a relief. But for someone just starting out, it can still feel a little overwhelming. Like, where do you even begin with all this?
I always recommend starting with an honest assessment of your current skills, maybe even take a peek at job descriptions. For those data roles that intrigued you,
So figure out where you stand now and where you want to go.
yeah.
And that helps you prioritize what you need to learn. What about those of us with a bit of technical debt?
Technical debt.
You know, we've been meaning to learn these skills for ages, but life gets in the way.
Right.
Any advice for us procrastinators?
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Don't let that technical debt paralyze you. Instead of trying to learn everything at once, focus on what's immediately relevant to your goals.
Okay.
You need to pull some data for a project. Focus on the SQL queries you need for that specific task.
Okay.
Build from there.
So it's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to carry the whole toolbox around.
Exactly.
Okay. So I like that.
And there are some fantastic tools that can help you stay consistent, even when life gets busy.
Like what?
Think time management apps, habit trackers, even gamified learning platforms.
Wait, gamified learning? You mean like turning data skills into a video game?
Yeah, like there are platforms like Habitica that turn your goals into like a role-playing game.
Really?
You complete tasks, earn points, level up your character.
Wow.
It taps into our natural desire for rewards, and it makes sticking with those goals a bit more fun.
So instead of battling procrastination, I could be battling orcs while I'm leveling up my SQL skills.
see. Exactly.
That's brilliant. I love that. Okay, shifting back to LinkedIn Learning specifically, I'm curious about the structure of this Data Whisperer path. How long does it typically take to complete?
So the beauty of LinkedIn Learning is its flexibility. You learn at your own pace. The Data Whisperer path itself has 5 core courses covering SQL, Tableau, Python for data science, machine learning,
Mhm.
and statistics.
Okay, so a decent amount of material.
Yeah,
Each course varies in length, I assume.
they do.
So someone with some prior knowledge and a decent chunk of time could probably get through it fairly quickly.
You could probably knock it out in a couple months if you're dedicating consistent time to it.
Okay.
But even if you only have a few hours a week, That's still progress.
That's encouraging. So it's not just for those with tons of free time, but after finishing a course, how do you actually apply what you've learned? I mean, taking a course is one thing, but actually using those skills is another.
That's where the real magic happens. Okay.
LinkedIn Learning incorporates practical exercises and project-based learning right into the courses.
Oh, that's cool.
You're not just passively watching videos, you're getting your hands dirty and building things.
So walk me through an example of one of these projects. What kind of things might you actually be building?
So in the Tableau course,
Mm-hmm.
you might be tasked with creating a dashboard to visualize sales trends for a fictional company,
Okay.
helping them see their data in a new light. Or in the machine learning course, you could build a model to predict customer churn,
Oh, interesting.
which is a big deal for businesses,
So
trying to keep their customers happy.
it's like taking those theoretical concepts and putting them into practice,
Exactly.
building real-world skills that you can actually showcase to potential employers.
And speaking of showcasing skills,
Yeah.
one of the biggest advantages of LinkedIn Learning is its integration with your LinkedIn profile.
Right.
When you complete a course, you can add it to your profile, along with a shiny little certificate of completion. Oh, so it's like a digital badge of honor,
Yeah.
showing potential employers that you're investing in yourself.
Exactly.
But are these certificates just for show? Or do employers actually care about them?
While certifications alone might not guarantee you a job,
Okay.
they add credibility to your profile and demonstrate your willingness to go the extra mile.
So it's all about building that narrative of continuous learning. But let's say you've completed the Data Whisperer path. You've got those shiny certificates on your profile.
Yeah.
What's next? How do you actually use this learning to land that dream job?
That's where the power of networking comes in.
Okay.
Remember, LinkedIn isn't just a job board. It's a community of professionals.
Right.
Use it to connect with people in your field. Join relevant groups. Engage in discussions.
So I shouldn't just be passively browsing job postings. I should be actively building relationships
Yeah,
and engaging with the data community.
exactly.
That makes sense. But for those who might be new to LinkedIn or a bit hesitant about networking, what's your advice?
Don't overthink it. The tech community is generally very supportive. Start by joining groups related to data science, analytics, or specific tools like Tableau or SQL. Participate in discussions, ask questions, share your insights.
So it's about finding your tribe and contributing to the conversation.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
You can also connect directly with individuals who inspire you or who work in roles you aspire to.
That can be a little intimidating though, right?
Yeah,
Reaching out to someone you don't know.
it can.
Any tips for breaking the ice?
One way is to genuinely engage with their content on LinkedIn, comment on their posts, ask thoughtful questions, show that you're genuinely interested in their expertise.
Okay.
It's all about building those authentic connections.
So no cheesy pickup lines.
Yeah,
Just genuine engagement and a shared passion for data.
precisely. And remember, even if you're more introverted or prefer learning at your own pace, LinkedIn Learning is still a fantastic resource.
Right.
You can master those in-demand skills, build your knowledge base at your own pace, and then, when you feel ready, you can leverage those skills and your network to make your career moves.
It's like laying the groundwork,
Yeah,
building that solid foundation
exactly.
that will support your future success.
A big part of that foundation is staying motivated.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're in it for the long haul.
Especially,
Look at that.
start with a clear why.
Okay.
Why are you learning these data skills? What's driving you?
So it's like having a North Star
Exactly.
guiding you on your data journey.
Visualize yourself succeeding in your desired role. What does that look like? How does it feel?
Okay. So it's about setting that vision and reminding yourself why you started on this path in the first place. But what about those days when motivation dips? You just don't feel like opening that LinkedIn Learning app.
Yes.
Any tips for staying consistent?
Consistency is often more about systems than willpower.
Okay.
Try incorporating a dedicated learning slot into your schedule, even if it's just 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, like brushing your teeth.
It's like scheduling a meeting with yourself.
like learning
over
a-
LinkedIn. I love that. But what if those unexpected distractions pop up? You know, life happens.
Be adaptable.
Okay.
Find those little pockets of time throughout the day. Maybe it's listening to a course during your commute or squeezing in a quick lesson during your lunch break.
So it's not about being rigid. It's about being resourceful.
Exactly.
I like that. But what about those times when you feel like you're hitting a learning plateau? You know you're not seeing the progress you hoped for, And doubts start creeping in.
Plateaus are a natural part of the learning process.
Okay.
Remember, progress isn't always linear.
Right.
Sometimes you need to revisit the fundamentals, experiment with different learning techniques, or even take a short break to recharge.
So it's not a failure. It's just a signal to adjust your approach.
Exactly.
Okay. What about those who might be battling imposter syndrome? You know, that feeling of not being good enough, not belonging in the data world?
Imposter syndrome is incredibly common, especially in fields like tech.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone feels that way sometimes, even the most experienced data professionals.
So it's not a sign of weakness. It's almost a sign that you're pushing yourself and growing.
Exactly. Focus on your accomplishments, keep track of what you've learned,
So
and celebrate your progress.
it's about shifting your focus from what you haven't achieved
Yeah,
to what you have achieved.
exactly.
Okay, I like that. What about seeking feedback from others? Do you think that can help combat imposter syndrome?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sharing your work with trusted peers or mentors and asking for constructive feedback can be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
It helps you gain different perspectives and reminds you that you're not alone in this journey.
So it's about building that supportive community,
Yeah.
embracing the learning process, bumps and all.
Exactly. And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination.
Well said. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. From the specifics of the Data Whisperer path to broader strategies for staying motivated, overcoming challenges, and building a successful data career. Let's take a short break and then come back to explore some even deeper insights and strategies for leveraging the power of LinkedIn Learning. All right, we're back and ready to dive even deeper into this Data Whisperer path on LinkedIn Learning. Before the break, we talked about building a solid foundation in SQL Tableau and Python. But I'm curious, what are some of the more nuanced skills that this path helps develop? The kind of things that might not be immediately obvious.
That's a great question. One of the things that often gets overlooked is the ability to think critically about data. You know, it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about asking the right questions, identifying patterns, and drawing meaningful conclusions.
So it's like being a detective, sifting through the evidence,
Yes.
piecing together the story that the data is telling.
Yeah, the Data Whisperer path really helps you develop that analytical mindset. It teaches you how to spot inconsistencies, identify potential biases, and evaluate the validity of your findings.
That's crucial because data can be misleading. If you don't know how to interpret it properly, it's like having all the pieces of a puzzle, but not knowing how to put them together to see the bigger picture.
Right, and in today's world where we're bombarded with data from all directions, those critical thinking skills are more important than ever.
Absolutely. But let's say someone has completed this Data Whisperer path. They've got those analytical skills sharpened. What are some practical ways they can leverage that knowledge to really stand out in the job market?
One of the best ways to stand out is to build a portfolio of projects that showcase your skills. This could include personal projects, volunteer work, or even contributions to open source projects.
So it's not just about having the knowledge. It's about demonstrating that you can actually apply it to real-world problems. But what kind of projects would be particularly impressive to potential employers? In the data field,
Projects that demonstrate your ability to solve business problems using data are always a hit. For example, you could build a model that predicts customer churn, analyzes sales trends, or optimizes marketing campaigns.
so it's about showing potential employers
Mm.
that you can not only analyze data, but also use it to drive business value.
Yeah.
That's a powerful combination.
It is. And LinkedIn Learning provides a great foundation for building those types of projects. The courses often include hands-on exercises and real-world data sets that you can use to develop your skills.
That's fantastic. So it's not just about theoretical knowledge, it's about getting that practical experience. But let's talk about something that often gets overlooked, the importance of soft skills in the data field.
Oh, soft skills are absolutely crucial. In fact, I'd argue that they're becoming even more important as technology advances.
That's interesting. Why do you think that is?
Well, as more and more tasks become automated, the human element becomes even more valuable.
So it's those uniquely human skills that will set us apart in the future. But what are some specific soft skills that are particularly important for data whisperers?
Communication is key. Being able to explain complex data insights to both technical and non-technical audiences is essential.
So it's not just about crunching numbers, it's about being able to tell the story that the data is revealing.
Exactly, and it's not just about verbal communication either. Data visualization skills are incredibly important for conveying information effectively.
That makes sense because a well-designed chart or graph can often communicate more than 1,000 words.
Right, and then there's skills like collaboration,
Yeah,
problem solving, and critical thinking. These are all essential for working effectively on data projects.
absolutely. So it's not just about being a data whiz. It's about being a well-rounded individual who can communicate, collaborate, and solve problems using data as a tool.
Exactly. And the great thing is that LinkedIn Learning offers courses on soft skill development as well.
Oh, wow.
So you can round out your technical expertise with those essential interpersonal skills.
That's fantastic. It's like having a one-stop shop for all your professional development needs. But let's talk about something that can be a major hurdle for many people, especially those who are new to the tech field: the fear of failure.
Fear of failure is incredibly common, but it's important to remember that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process.
So it's about reframing failure as a learning opportunity rather than a setback.
Exactly. Everyone makes mistakes, and those mistakes can be incredibly valuable if we learn from them.
Absolutely. But what are some practical strategies for overcoming that fear of failure and embracing those learning moments?
One of the best things you can do is to create a safe space for experimentation. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you're not sure they'll work out.
So it's about giving yourself permission to experiment and learn without the pressure of perfection.
Exactly. And remember, even if something doesn't work out as planned, you've still gained valuable experience and knowledge that you can apply to future projects.
That's a great way to think about it. But let's talk about a specific area where fear of failure can be particularly paralyzing: coding. Many people are intimidated by coding, especially those who don't have a formal computer science background. What's your advice for overcoming those coding fears and building confidence?
Start by breaking down coding into smaller, more manageable steps. Don't try to learn everything at once.
So it's about taking those baby steps and building that foundation gradually.
Exactly. And there are tons of great resources available online for learning how to code, from interactive tutorials to online courses. Many of them are even free.
That's fantastic. So there's no excuse for letting fear hold you back. But what about those who might struggle with finding the time to learn new skills, especially those who are juggling work, family, and other commitments?
Time management is key. Even if you can only dedicate a few hours a week, that's still progress. The important thing is to be consistent and to make learning a priority.
Okay, so it's about finding those pockets of time in our busy schedules and making the most of them.
Right, and don't underestimate the power of those small moments. Even 15 minutes a day can add up over time.
Absolutely. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about a topic that's becoming increasingly important in the data world: the ethical considerations of working with data.
Oh, that's a crucial topic. As data becomes more and more prevalent in our lives, it's essential that we use it responsibly and ethically.
So it's not just about what we can do with data, it's about what we should do with data.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of privacy concerns, data security, and potential biases in our algorithms.
Those are all incredibly important considerations. But how can someone who's new to the data field develop that ethical awareness and ensure that they're using data responsibly?
There are a number of things you can do. First, educate yourself about data ethics. There are lots of great resources available online and offline, including books, articles, and courses.
Okay, so it's about doing that research and building that foundation of ethical knowledge. What else?
Connect with others who are passionate about data ethics. Join online communities, attend conferences, and engage in discussions about these important issues.
So it's about finding that community of like-minded individuals who can share insights and support each other in navigating these complex ethical challenges.
Exactly. And remember, ethical considerations should be integrated into every stage of the data process, from data collection to analysis to visualization.
So it's not just an afterthought, it's an integral part of being a responsible data professional.
Absolutely. And as the field of data science continues to evolve, those ethical considerations will only become more important.
Well said. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. From the nuanced skills developed in the Data Whisperer path to the importance of soft skills and ethical considerations. Let's take another short break and then come back to wrap up our deep dive with some final insights and actionable advice for all you aspiring data whisperers out there. All right, we're back for the final stretch of our deep dive into the Data Whisperer path on LinkedIn Learning. We've talked about the technical skills, the soft skills, the ethical considerations. It's a lot to take in. But I'm curious, what's one piece of advice you would give to someone who's just starting out on this data journey?
One thing I always emphasize is the importance of finding your niche within the data world. Data is such a broad field, it's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Right.
But if you can identify a specific area that really sparks your interest, whether it's machine learning, data visualization, or
Hmm.
something else entirely, you'll be much more likely to stay motivated and excel in that area.
So it's about finding that intersection between your passions and the demands of the market.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can do work that you love, and that's also in high demand. And LinkedIn Learning can be a great tool for exploring different niches within the data world. They have courses on everything from data engineering to data journalism.
So it's like having a buffet of data options. And you can sample different dishes until you find the ones that really satisfy your data appetite.
I like that analogy. And once you've found your niche, don't be afraid to specialize.
Okay.
Become an expert in that area.
So it's about going deep rather than wide, becoming that go-to person for a specific set of data skills.
Exactly. And that expertise will make you much more valuable in the job market.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something that can be a bit of a stumbling block for some people. The constant evolution of technology in the data world. New tools and techniques are emerging all the time. How do you stay ahead of the curve and avoid feeling like you're constantly playing catch up?
It's definitely a challenge. But one of the best ways to stay current is to cultivate a mindset of continuous learning. Make it a habit to set aside time each week to read industry articles, listen to podcasts, and experiment with new tools.
So it's about embracing that lifelong learner mentality and making professional development a regular part of your routine.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Try learning a new programming language. Experiment with a different data visualization tool, or take on a project that pushes you beyond your current skill set.
So it's about challenging yourself and embracing those growth opportunities.
Exactly. And remember, the tech community is incredibly supportive. There are tons of online forums, communities, and meetups where you can connect with other data professionals, ask questions, and share knowledge.
That's fantastic. It's like having a built-in support system for navigating the ever-changing world of data. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about a topic that's often a source of anxiety for many job seekers. The dreaded technical interview.
Ah, yes. Technical interviews can definitely be nerve-wracking. But with the right preparation, you can turn them into an opportunity to showcase your skills and passion for data.
Okay, so let's talk about preparation. What are some key things that people should focus on when preparing for a technical interview for a data role?
First and foremost, make sure you have a solid understanding of the fundamental concepts. In your chosen area of data expertise, this could include things like SQL Python, machine learning algorithms, or data visualization techniques.
So it's about having that strong foundation of knowledge.
Right, but it's not just about memorizing definitions or algorithms. It's about being able to apply that knowledge to solve problems.
So practice those problem-solving skills.
Exactly. Work through coding challenges, analyze data sets, and build projects that demonstrate your ability to think critically and solve problems using data.
That makes sense. But what about the behavioral aspects of the interview? How can someone make a good impression and showcase those soft skills that we talked about earlier?
Be prepared to talk about your past experiences, your passion for data, and your career goals. Practice articulating your thoughts clearly and concisely, and be prepared to answer questions about your teamwork skills, communication style, and problem-solving approach.
So it's about showcasing your personality and your passion, as much as your technical skills.
Exactly. And remember, the interview is a two-way street. It's an opportunity for you to learn more about the company and the role, and to determine if it's a good fit for you.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure of trying to impress the interviewer. But it's equally important to make sure that the company and the role are a good match for your skills, interests, and values.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask questions. It shows that you're curious and engaged.
So come prepared with a few thoughtful questions about the company, the team, or the specific projects you'd be working on.
Right. And remember, even if you don't get the job, every interview is a learning experience. Take the time to reflect on what went well, what could have been better, and how you can improve your approach for next time.
So it's about embracing that growth mindset and viewing every experience, whether it's a success or a setback, as an opportunity to learn and improve. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the Data Whisperer path on LinkedIn Learning. It's been an incredible journey, filled with insights, strategies, and practical advice for navigating the exciting world of data. What's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Believe in yourself and your ability to succeed. The data world is full of opportunities for those who are passionate, curious, and willing to put in the work.
So it's about embracing that growth mindset, staying curious, and never stop learning and exploring the ever-evolving world of data. And on that inspiring note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.